It's a reality that nowadays the time average that a young Mexican spends on his or her phone oscillates around 8 hours a day, which means that if we try to fit these 8 hours in the 24 of a day, there are not many hours left enough to enjoy those tiny pleasures of life. I mean, if we take into consideration the 8 hours on which we're supposed to be sleeping, plus the other 8 hours on which we focus our attention on who we are in front of social media, now we have 16 hours, and 24 minus 16 gives us a total of 8 hours to try to do that thing they call living. So I'm going to talk about two simple points with the ones I want us to realize how worrying this dehumanization is. Taking into account that human beings are social beings by nature, my first point supports the linguist Noah Chomsky, who points out that a network creates a wrong sense of socialization process. Because when we try to build relationships based on digital interactions, we're only creating a wrong idea of a friendship, which is limited and worse yet, superficial. Does receiving a message from your friend means that he or she actually cares about you? Or is it that the best friendships are those whose Instagram photos denote a high degree of happiness? I constantly ask myself, until which point is it sane to feel great after having done a video call and talking to a phone rather than a real person?
In the same way, is it really worth taking the time to create a profile that simulates the perfect person that I want to be? Showing flowers in the networks when inside there are tremors. Because I might as well stop and meditate for half an hour. I might go and make my mom a cup of tea. I could go and take the healing powers of the sun. Moments like this, I believe that no matter how much we try to document them on our Instagram stories, no one will be able to feel the satisfaction that one feels when living them. The second point is in favor of the internet. Anthony Giddens argues that this is actually one of the greatest communication phenomena ever conceived by mankind. And I cannot reject the validity of this statement. Yet, I can emphasize that this communication leads to false references in the construction of knowledge. There is an exchange of ideas. There are people debating and people thinking together. And the effects on this are concrete on physical world, as they directly affect those who let themselves be carried away by what they see on social networks. Those people who think without using their own criteria. Absorbing, second after second, tons of information that lacks of veracity and value for our person. And even worse, that sometimes has repercussion on the emotionality of the person. In order to conclude, you can get excited about that new follower. But out there, there's a world full of unpredictable phenomena. There might also be the love of your life. There are 3 billion trees that you can hug, and endless opportunities to grow spiritually. I consider it fair and above all humane to leave them the way they deserve, giving them full attention and an inhalation accompanied by an unbridled exhalation.